So in a previous video, I showed some of the accessories that come with the mill kit, the package A, and I ended showing the boring bar here and mentioned that it is part of the Ultimate Machine package and not part of the package A. There are two other items that I want to take a look at here today in this video. They're a little bit larger, that are part of the Ultimate Machine package, but not included in any other of the package options. So let's open them up and start taking a look at them. So this first item that we're going to look at here today is the tilting angle table, part number 3750. So this allows, as its name indicates, it allows a tilt to be put onto the table here. This is useful if you want to say mill a V-groove or any other type of angled operation. To get an accurate setup, you would want to get some angled setup blocks, or at minimum a very good protractor. There is a little scale on the side, but it's probably going to be fairly rough in accuracy concerning a machining operation. Includes the hardware to attach it to the mill table. Just some T-nuts and some screws. It has the holes here in the bottom to do that. On the face of the unit, we have a couple of blank holes and many threaded holes to use your other normal hold down methods, whether that be step blocks or other items there. In the middle is a removable 3/4 inch 16 thread per inch adapter. So you can take this off if it's in the way, or not included in the kit, but if you have it with a lathe or have purchased it separately, you can mount the Sherline 3-jaw, 4-jaw chucks on here, or anything else that uses that 3/4 by 16 thread. Pretty simple, straightforward accessory. A nice one to have. I said probably the most common thing that you'll use it for initially is cutting V-grooves with a standard mill cutter, standard end mill, so you don't have to get a specialty cutter in order to put V-grooves in parts. So this is a part that I'm much more excited about. This is actually my first rotary table. I do not have one for my larger mill. This is the CNC ready version. It's part number 3700-CNC. If you get the Ultimate Machine package, even with the Ultimate Machine package CNC, the 6200-CNC, I believe is the part number, this will not be CNC'd. This is an additional upgrade. Normally this will just have a hand wheel on it. So you will also need to get an additional motor for this if you wish to run it through the CNC as a 4th axis on the mill. I'm going to go ahead and take it off the shipping board and bring it right back. Okay, so back with the 3700 CNC, the CNC ready rotary table. There is a non-CNC ready version of this with just a hand crank as well. I don't have that part number handy in front of me. This is a very cool little tool. If you've not used one of these before, I've actually had quite a few projects where I've needed one of these and had to figure out another way to do things, or just make do and not make that part. So I'm pretty excited about having this. It can be used flat on the mill table by bolting it through. There are a few holes that will line up, and you can bolt it directly on that way. You can also use these included lockdowns and T-nuts and screws to hold it on in that method. Additionally, with the tilting table, there are 2 screws up here which line up and allow this to be mounted on the tilting table, so you can do rotary operations on the tilting table. And then another item that I don't have but Sherline makes is you can remove this bar and they make a right angle fixture, which allows you to do a lot of lathe-like operations on the mill. So you can turn spindles and do items like that. This has 4 slots for securing down the workpiece. again, whichever method you want to use for securing that. There's also a threaded hole in the center, and they make an adapter so that you can thread that on, and again, use any of your 3/4 inch by 16 threaded chucks or other adapters that you may have to hold workpieces on there. Again, this is kind of indicating how you could do lathe operations on this. They also do make a tailstock such that if you're using it in this position on, say, the left end of the mill table, there is a tailstock that's adjustable height that can be used to support the far end of the piece in case you're working on a longer piece. And particularly since some of the milling operations will be creating a lot of downward and sideways force, you may want that additional item to help support it. So I'm pretty excited to start using this. It is a very solid and heavy piece. It is not a lightweight accessory. The rotary table, just briefly, if you're not familiar with what they are and how they're used, as you turn this knob here, the table will move, will rotate in 360 degrees. Obviously, I would need the shaft on there to do that, more with the motor. This allows you to do a lot of, say, face grooving operations, like these grooves that are actually cut in the face of the table itself. You can do some edging operations on circular pieces. You can turn a square into a circle with this. You can turn a round rod into a hex rod with this by indexing it off the degree marks or with the CNC. So it's a very unique and useful piece. Definitely something I'm looking forward to creating some projects with, and I believe it'll make my machining not only higher quality, but certainly more convenient and capable of producing additional parts that I wasn't able to produce before.